Hey everybody, we are the Krickets, and we're here at the Sunstroke House in Columbus, Mississippi, and we're going to play an original song for you called Redbird.
That's right.
What's she even trying to tell me? The only time I see her is in my dream. Oh, it's been this way since she's been gone. Words lost in translation, and I wake too soon to know. Baby, if I go back to sleep, she'll finish what she said. Worthy words unspoken, oh, for she was taken. Things between us are so different. Well, I guess that's what happens when the truth is unraveled. I hope one day I'll be able to forget them. Time will tell, and if all else fails, I haven't lost a damn thing. Baby, if I go back to sleep, she'll finish what she said. Worthy words unspoken, oh, for she was taken. Maybe she'll make the star rain down on me. Maybe she's a red bird and she'll fly right past me. With these dreams running through my mind, is there a reason we need more time? I'll reach out to share his finish, oh, when she sees me. Is this love or is this warning? Oh, maybe if I go back to sleep, she'll finish what she said. Worthy words unspoken, oh, for she was taken. Maybe she'll make the sky rain down on me. Maybe she's a red bird and she'll fly right past me.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And so just to start us off, just one at a time, just introduce yourself, where you're from, and what do you think that first moment was? It's like, I want to do music. Was it like riding in mom's car, and hearing that old country song on the radio, or was it grandpa's records? I mean, what did that look like?
Okay, well, I'll go first.
Kick it off.
I am Emily Stuckey Sellers, and I am from Fairhope, Alabama, but I spent my elementary school and middle school years in Jackson, Mississippi. I actually went to Brandon High School. I feel like I'm torn. I still carry the Jackson, Mississippi accent, but I have lived in Fairhope, Alabama for about equally half of my life. But my first love for music, or when I fell in love with singing, I was a very small child. I was obsessed with Disney movies, and I would learn every single part in every single Disney movie and just drive my family insane. Yeah. And then another memory I have is I love Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young because of my dad. So when I was like 6, 7, 8, I knew all those albums from listening to them in the backseat of his car. But that's kind of my little music background there.
Cool.
Well, I am Lauren Spring, and I was raised for the most part in Albany, Georgia, in South Georgia. And for the past 15 years, I've been a beach bum down in Port St. Joe, Florida, and I just really love the slow pace of everything, and it's beautiful down there, and that's where I've been. I've had a clothing store for a long time, and I've really enjoyed it, but definitely music's a first love, and where that moment happened that I can definitely pinpoint, I can think of one moment that did it for me. I was about 12 years old. I was in Boone, North Carolina with my best friend's grandmother and my best friend, and we were at one of these weird places where that college up there is Appalachian State. They had this, their performance art, department with that college had these kids who would perform and serve food. Well, there was this big cheesy performance of Aquarius, or something, and I was not impressed, and it was fine, and we ate some good mashed potatoes, and I thought we were about to go home. And this lanky kid walks out. I would say kid, he's like 19, 20-year-old. He walks out with this acoustic guitar. He sits down on the end of that stage, and he played St. Judy's Comet by Paul Simon, and I was done. That was it. I was like, I'm going to do that for the rest of my life, right there. And so that was my moment there. I remember my dad's a music man. He taught me guitar. He's always been in a band or always had a guitar around, so it was convenient. That's my moment. That's what I remember changing my life.
And so banjo and violin, when did that come up for you?
Oh my gosh, I don't play either, really. I really don't. I'm not good at either one of them.
We played the Dolly Parton. We play Adam.
Yeah, I play at these instruments. We were all singer-songwriters, and we all played acoustic guitar. And you can't do that in a band. You have to play
Somebody's got to do
things.
something else.
That's right. So everybody just had to kind of grow some and play some different things. And Emily, she really has been incredible at percussion, playing drums and learning drums. Rachel learned bass, and learning how to sing and play bass is like crazy. And then I just got screwed and got the fiddle and got just screwed. And then the banjo, this isn't really a banjo, this is a 6-string banjo, which is really a guitar that looks like and sounds like a banjo. So I'm cheating.
Yeah, cheat codes.
Yeah, but anyway, go ahead, Miss Rachel.
Stories. My name's Rachel Grubb, and I am from Lake City, Florida. So I've been in the band about 7 months, we decided, and so I'm kind of the new one. How I first came to love music, I always grew up, my mother was a choir director, so we had a lot of choir practices that I'd kind of go in and out of. I was running around the church playing with the other kids, but she would practice, and I started singing harmony against her Baptist hymnal harmonies. So I can still remember going down the road singing like "Love Lifted Me," like that was my favorite, right here every time. But that's how I learned to sing harmony. That and the Mamas and the Papas, which is an odd mixture. But she loved the Mamas and the Papas, and we just sang like every song in the Baptist hymnal. Cool. So yeah.
All right, and so all of you singer-songwriters meeting each other, and how did that happen? And like when y'all were meeting each other, was it kind of an immediate like we should work together, or like what did that look like?
Well, the band's about 5 years old. We met originally the reason we got together, the reason we're called the Krickets, there was another band called the Krickets, or is another band. Buddy Holly's Krickets are the true Krickets with a C. We're the Krickets with a K. The reason we're called the Krickets is we got together to play a cancer benefit event for a girl that passed away in my hometown named Cricket Russell. She was a 22-year-old girl from breast cancer. And we had so much fun playing together. They only wanted female musicians. None of us had played together, so we played and we had a blast, and we decided we need to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Emily and I have been in the band for almost 5 years now, and we had a couple other members who have since had babies or they got their masters and decided to, they wanted health insurance or whatever, and decided to go do something different. But Rachel's been a great friend. She's a singer-songwriter we really respected and loved her music, and we played festivals with her, and we decided we're just going to see if this chick will come play with us, and so it worked out.
We're just going to harass her.
I knew right away. I was like, oh yeah, we can hang out. I mean, I never knew I'd be a part of the band, but I was like, we get each other.
Yeah.
We're all moms.
Yeah.
We're all writers. And we love music. So it was like, what else do you need?
Yeah.
We can be friends.
Yeah.
We should be friends.
For sure.
So.
Yeah. Okay, and so I know it's kind of a crazy question, like with each song it's a little bit different. Let's just take Redbird. So it won an award last year.
It did. It won an IMA award for best alt country song.
Right. And so what was kind of the story behind the song?
That song was actually written about my grandmother, who was from Delta City, Mississippi. I was very close to her. She kept us a lot growing up, and she passed away a couple years ago. And we were trying to get material together for our second album, and I kept having this dream about her, and in the dream she would whisper something in my ear, and before she had whatever she was gonna say, I would wake up. So it was crazy, and it happened a long time. I had that dream many times. Anyway, I went to kind of try and start working on writing stuff for the album, and that little funky riff came out that we were playing, and the song just kind of blah. It just came out. I wrote it in like 15 minutes, and I quit having the dream after that.
Worked out great.
It worked out great. I think it was my grandmother saying, write that song, you get it out.
And now we can't go anywhere without seeing redbirds.
Redbirds.
We drove up, redbirds
Everywhere.
outside.
Female cardinal is first bird on the branch. It's nuts. It
Yeah.
happens everywhere we go.
It's a good sign. It warms our heart. We're like,
see
yes,
them.
we're doing the right thing. Thank you. Thank you, Granny.
And so,
Thank you.
and just reflecting back with your songwriting, like just take your favorite song that you've written and like what comes to mind, like the story behind it.
I love killing people off. Don't get me wrong. I have a lot of murder songs.
You write murder
But
ballads?
I love them, but I do.
Awesome.
I do. But I think my favorite one at the moment it's a song that it's just about kind of throwing temper tantrums with God. It's about, when we sit down and we shake a fist at the sky and we don't understand what happened that day or why that happened, and the song's called Shame Game, and it started out, I tell this story at the shows that because it's February, that I got stood up for my very first Valentine's Day dance when I was like in the 6th grade or 7th grade. And that was like the first time I felt like I ever had a real pity party with God, like really whined and cried. But starting with that moment and ending with some other profound moments in my life, that song's just about that frustration and sort of acknowledging that, like, I'm sure God's laughing at us all the time. But so that's what that was my favorite at the moment.
Walking down the road, dust in her teeth, screaming at no one in particular about a lost dream. she's singing, shame on you, shame on me. It's everybody's fault, can't you see? Get a body, yeah, just catch a break. I wanna know what it's gonna take, how many prayers must I say? Well, I got gold, my last mistake. Well, I had got gold, my last mistake. Same look in her eye since sometime back in junior high. Wounded and accused and looking for abuse. Oh, she never really stood a chance since that boy stood her up at Valentine's dance. Now she's singing, shame on you, shame on me. It's everybody's fault, can't you see? Get a body, yeah, but just catch a break. I wanna know what it's gonna take, how many prayers must I say? Well, he got gold, my last mistake. Oh, well, he got gold, my last mistake.
But that one's on this last album. And again, all the ones that we really stick, it feels like, came out in, 10 minutes. I mean, I don't know why it happens like that. It just does. But
I write too, and like
cool.
my favorite song that I've written, like I was telling a buddy of mine about it, and I was like, I couldn't put the pen to paper quick enough, and he's like, you still use pen and paper? But I was like, well, you're writing it down on the phone or whatever. I was like, I couldn't get the words quick enough because I was like, I got the riff out on the guitar, and I was like, oh, I got the words, there they are, It's so rare.
it is, and it hits you like a bolt of lightning, and you have to deal with it that second. Doesn't matter where you are. I know, it's wild.
Yeah, I know some folks, like you'll be having lunch if maybe they're just a writer, and we'll be having lunch, and you got a pen, and they'll write something down on a napkin,
Oh, yeah.
They'll write down what you just said because it was a beautiful. It was like
I think it is sometimes.
It's
like,
a little gold nugget you dropped, and they're always collecting
I'm going to
notes.
think about that.
I do that all the time. I steal things all the time from people, but I try to be stealthy about it. At least use my phone.
Shoot a text to myself. All right, Rachel.
Well, I'm kind of new to the band, so the things that we're working on right now and playing for everyone, they were written before I came around. So I think what I've been pouring my energy into just learning and giving proper treatment to the songs.
Yeah.
And making them come alive. Krickets went from a 4-piece to a 3-piece, so we did some new arrangements of some things, and we're kind of still in process. We still got a few more songs that we want to add to that, and then hopefully we'll start writing together.
Yeah.
Because that's what I love to do. I mean, I like to perform, and it's way better to perform with the Krickets than my usual solo gig. I mean, there's a camaraderie that I love, and I miss that when I'm performing on my own. I still do that sometimes. We all do, in fact. But it'll be cool to see what we can come with together, and combine and co-write and things. So I'm looking forward to that too. But I thought just coming in, we just need to settle into this new arrangement and really put together some really good arrangements of songs. And so that's what we've been concentrating.
And so, I mean, before we started, just seat and placement for singing, you were talking about like triads, and like you said, it's like usually 1-35, but you said that y'all don't really do it that way.
All the time.
We just it's a lot of feeling. Like we feed off of each other a lot. So, and the leads change. So that's an unusual thing too. So what we try to do is just always be tuned into one another.
And what serves a song?
Yeah, it's what does this song need?
What does it need? What's the best thing for this song right here, right now? And if if that song needs a really flashy, big, crazy note, we know that like Emily's our show
our
pony.
go-to
with her, you know, she's got a hell of a voice,
She's got a
and we know, you know, if the song needs that, then she needs to be on the high harmony, or you know, and we need, it's just the different qualities, you know, in different in our different voices. And Linda Ronstadt and Dolly Parton and Emmy Lou used to be in a band called Trio, and we covered one of their songs on our very first album. We love them so much. But they used to do that. They would try out, each of them tried out the lead and the harmonies and just see where you want to be. Sometimes, you know, Dolly's got such a high voice, it's stacked where she's on top and then the two harmonies are below her, you know, and they're singing like weird tenor parts and stuff. So it can just be, it's different all the time, but we really enjoy it. It's just a playground.
Yeah, it is, because you're playing around, you're trying new things, letting yourself try new things. I think that's what makes music fun.
Right. All right, and so there was a song in a documentary, and y'all were in the documentary for a while, right?
Yeah, we were. Caitlin.
What is Caitlin's last name? We're gonna get in big trouble.
Oh my.
Caitlin is an amazing FSU grad student who is now graduated, and her thesis was she wanted to do a documentary on women in music and a Southern culture, and she wanted to show what it was like to be a girl in a band touring and interactions with the fans, interactions with the venues, interactions with everybody, and with each other. I mean, and what it ended up being was like when she followed us, and she was with us for like a year and a half. She would just, and what's sad is you get, it's gross that you can get used to someone with a camera 2 inches from your face, but and then you can start to act like you don't even know it's there. That's scary.
Yeah.
But we did, and that documentary is definitely.
We would forget and like say stuff.
Oh God.
Probably not everyone.
We haven't released it to the general public because
You know?
we're terrified of y'all watching it. But you know, go get your popcorn because we have to soon. But it outlined 2 of the band members leaving and like showed their like the seeds, you know, that were planted in the beginning of the video, and then by the end of the video, after she'd been with us a year and a half, like they were leaving the band, or one was leaving the band, and you could see why, and it just tells a lot of our drama, but in the process of showing a lot of our drama, it also was very true to telling what it's like to be a female. It's just a little different. I mean, and it's a lot easier to show it with a visual, you know. It goes a lot further than a bunch of words.
There's a line in a Jason Isbell song that's toward the start of it in White Man's World. He said he's talking about his little girl and wanting to send her to Nashville to change the sound, but Mama knew better because they wasn't going to let her.
They weren't going to let her. I know, I love that line.
Yeah.
And he had
Such a
guts
good
to write
writer.
it, you know, like to say it out loud.
Yeah.
And I love that she's in the High Women now, you know,
Right.
changing some things, which is, you know, really cool.
She is cool. I like her.
But yeah, it's a different world, and it's not that we don't want to be in it. We do. It just means you have to play it a little bit differently and be, you know,
We were talking about that today.
have a different toolbox. Like you have to have a different set of tools to use to get through it.
Yeah, we are definitely not the puppet type. We do not do well being controlled because I feel like the music, it loses a lot of its soul when it's picked and, you know, by someone else that didn't write it or didn't. They're trying to turn it into something that's, you know, it's too
Soulless.
Yeah, it's
not us.
Soulless.
And we're not 20 years
Pop
old
country,
anymore.
like
Right.
that's
I
not
think that's
us.
important. Like we're all
Like I'm
mothers.
40 years old. Rachel's over 40. Like Emily is 35. We've
I'm
done some
33.
living. Like we.
I look 35.
Shut up.
No,
I'm 30.
We've done some living. We've had babies. We've had marriages. Like there are things that have been real blessings in our lives that you know they teach you a lot. And there's a lot of hard lessons in those experiences, and it gives you something to write about. So now when we're on the road, these hardened women are out there, you know, it's not so scary to ask for what you want. Just instead of wilting around a intimidating sound man, you know, to say out loud, no, you know, this is what we're gonna do tonight, and to stand up for yourself instead of in a typical relationship, it's not with sound or in a venue, just not allowing the treatment to be any different. And if it is, calling it for what it is and standing up for yourself, it's just it's a different feeling. But I'm not sure I would have done it when I was 25. I'm not sure I would have done it 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Also, I know from my own perspective, what I had to say when I was 20.
No one would have
wanted to listen. It would have just been like, ooh,
terrible
emotional. I'm so lonely. Where's my man? Kind of. I don't know. It's just I didn't even want to write until I was in my 30s because I just didn't. I didn't know what to say or allow myself to say what I wanted to say. I just I had to live a little bit of life.
Yeah.
And now there's no end to the things I could write about, But I was I look back at that woman, and it's age is a blessing. I feel like we're always going after the newest, the freshest thing, but that doesn't have an age,
Mm-hmm.
That's it's what you're saying. It's how you're communicating it, and I don't know. I think age is a blessing in that way.
Yeah.
But to the documentary, it does exist. It is quite. We do have it. We know we're supposed to release it. We have to do it with our Patreon followers first. And I keep saying I'll do it this week and haven't done it for a year and a half. So I'll do it this week.
Okay, hold her to it.
Right.
Hold her to
So
it.
it just depends on what week you hear it.
There you go. And it's a time sensitive thing but we're going to let the rest of the world know about it because it's kind of history for us. It's old news now, and we're a different band, and it's a different path, and we're just in a different place. So it really shouldn't be weird to watch it, but you can't help but watch. It's you're watching. It's like watching This Is Us or something, but it's about you. It's weird, and and it's hard to. And I definitely don't want to I know the fans are curious, and they want to know what happened and what was really said, and I could totally see that. If you dig a band, you want to, you kind of are invested in who they are, and the music, you want to know what happened. Absolutely. But the documentary isn't just about our drama; it's really about a cool thesis, and Caitlin really brought that to life, and I'm super. She was just such an impressive human being. She is an impressive human being.
I think she did a great job.
She did.
Yeah.
Cool.
But helped her graduate.
There you go.
There you go.
Got that graduation. So just for the young females out there that may be listening and just playing music and maybe thinking, I want to take it on the road. What are some mistakes that you could help them not make?
How much time do you have?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about that. Mistakes. We view mistakes in such a very
But
negative
sometimes
way.
it's good to make it, right?
Right. Sometimes there's no other way to learn. What we are is we're trying to remind ourselves. How old am I? Almost 44. Mistakes are not bad things. The people that make mistakes are the people that never do anything. If you want to live a safe, empty life, don't try anything new.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to live, if you want to write, if you've got a passion, follow that. Be okay with making some mistakes. That would be my advice. It's
go.
We've made a lot. Learn from people if you can.
Yeah, and
But
be confident in what you do, because people will try to run over you
and don't let
change
them.
what you are. And that was a big mistake of mine, is just letting people barrel over me and have me do what they thought was best. And I wasted a lot of years playing music with people that were just out for themselves. So that would be my advice.
My advice would be, in that moment that you want to quit, whatever brings that on, early in your career, when you're 20 years old and you can't help but imagine that the world is ending because something crappy happened, and let's say a band gets signed and you were singing with them and they run off to Nashville and never call you again, and you just decide your life is over because that was your big break. Instead of being an idiot and stopping music for 10 years, why don't you pick up your guitar and go to the nearest coffee shop and get over yourself and play music and get better, and use that time to fail often and fail hard, and 10 years later you're going to be a fantastic guitar
Keep
player
going.
Yeah.
instead of a bad fiddle player.
Don't hang it
It's
up.
persistence. It really is. I mean, some of it's talent, some of it's luck,
Mm-hmm.
most of it's persistence.
Yeah.
So that's
don't
the
take no
advice
for an answer.
I'd give my young self. I
Cool.
would say that. To
I don't know.
him.
I don't know if my young self would listen, but
Hell no.
That's the
You
thing,
know,
right? Because you
there
already
it
know
is.
it, right?
Yeah.
All right. Heard you mention Patreon. So just ways to connect with y'all, find your music, and we'll walk the thing on out the door.
Yeah. Well, Patreon for sure. That is our favorite way to get to know our fans. That is, you can find it. It's just the patreon.com/the Krickets, and it's where we post all the things we don't post for everybody else. We post different videos for them and silly things and things that fans would care about, but the average listener wouldn't. You know, it's just a more intimate experience with the fan.
Yeah.
You can find us. We are the Krickets with a K, which is a little weird, but it's when you're looking for us on social media, whether it's Twitter, Insta, or Facebook. We're on. It's the Krickets at the Krickets on Instagram. You can find us there, and we also have a website, which is thekrickets.com. Which is if you want to find our tour schedule or where we'll be or what we're up to. We're pretty good about updating everybody and letting you know what's going on. But we love connecting with the fans. If you want to hear the music, that's on. We have our own Pandora station, Spotify channel. You know, wherever you can find music, you can find us. So the Krickets with a K.
Great. Well, girls, thank y'all so much for taking the time to sit
Thank
down with me.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
It's so sweet.
News and notes. Thank you so much for listening to Porch Talk. If you haven't done so already, I would ask that you would rate and review the show. Subscribe. You can even follow us on social media. It's a thing. Jamie, thank you so much for setting all this up and for hosting amazing shows in your home. Sunstroke House is a special place, and the audience, everyone that comes, I mean, it's always like there's this magic about it. Emily, Lauren, and Rachel, thank you so much for sitting down with me and allowing me to pick your brain on the songwriting process and just the years. And if you didn't know, Lauren, she runs a women's clothing store in Porch St. Joe, Florida for the past 13 years. It's called Fuss. You can check that out at fussstyle.com. But one thing I want to plug again is their Patreon. Helps them to do what they enjoy and love doing, making music, right? And so it's easy as $1 a month. And it's like, well, dude, that's not much. Well, what if 400 people gave $1 a month? And that's kind of the thing about Patreon. And it's like, what are you really eliminating out of your life for $1? So it's an easy thing to do. Give that a thought. We're going to walk this thing on out the door with a song called I Am Strong off of their latest album, Redbird.
Get me up, think I'm caving in. Thoughts of doubt are trying to get in. See your face and I'm quickly reminded of your strength and grace to get me out of this place. 'Cause I'm stronger than you ever hoped to know. I will rise up when my name is being called. You can try, but you won't keep me down for long.